Did they change it again? Oh, there we go. I was like, fuck you and your persistent. Hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody? For Rip the Lip, I'm Ron Thoman, and Kyle Hervey here is my co-host, and you're watching Over the Cushion, powered by MCM Contracting, serving the Lehigh Valley for over 33 years. Owned and operated by Mark Daniels. This show is all about dirt track racing, covering current news, events, and talking with different drivers every single week. Like to huge shout out to our other sponsors, Bodie Marks Racing, the Shop Automotive Detailing, or the shopdetails.com, Smith Fabrication, Stage 1 Modifieds, DH Graphics, ProTech Roofing, and Nate Freed Racing. So appreciate those guys. If you want to become a sponsor and be on the show, you can hit me up on Facebook Messenger or email me at riptheliptv @gmail.com. This show is live every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to catch replays, you can go there. If we're not live, then it is pre-recorded, but we'll let you know in advance. But really appreciate for everybody to be hanging out tonight. Let me go ahead and get Kyle in here. I'm a touch quiet. Oh, yep, that's Kyle. All right, what's going on, Kyle?
Not much, Ron. How are you this lovely weekend?
I have felt better. I'm a little sick, but I turned my mic up just a little bit, at least the gain, so hopefully that makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, you were just a touch quiet there during the intro, but no problem. It wouldn't be an episode of Rip the Lip without a few technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. So, how's your week been?
My week has boring the last couple weeks. Just kind of relaxing. Started working on the TQ
Gotcha.
and the micro a little bit. Shout out to one of our previous guests, Aiden Donaldson, for letting me use his lovely new injector cleaner, even though neither of us had a clue what we were doing yesterday. But cleaned up and adjusted some injectors for both cars, and lost a couple bolts and washers that I needed for the TQ fuel rail somewhere in the engine compartment, and I cannot find them.
Well, so you can't turn the car upside down and shake it to see if they come out. But
you're underestimating my frustration when working on a race car. I will be pulling everything off of that car, because the more I looked into it, the more oil I found all over. I cannot get that car to stop. That car just leaks oil everywhere. I think I have a breather issue, but I really don't know. It's baffled me the last couple races.
Now you're in for it. Complete teardown mode at this point.
Yes, I'm gonna tear it apart and roll it outside and pressure wash everything, and hopefully have some washers and bolts flying out
so I can
find them. Yeah.
So we got Trenton, New Jersey coming up this coming weekend. Seems like there's a lot of hype for it. Everyone seems to be prepping, getting ready. Colin White looks like he's ready to go. I'm sure a lot of other people are geared up, ready for that short track insanity.
Yep. Are you gonna go?
Maybe. We'll see. We shall see.
If you're still sick.
Yeah, and if the new job pays me. Yeah. I just started last week, so it's like, do I get a paycheck?
I didn't even realize that this was like an Atlantic City style weekend where they're racing, like practice Thursday, racing Friday and Saturday. I'm kind of glad I didn't go. I don't want to.
No one wants to be racing on a Sunday when they got to go to work on Monday.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But,
I hope I can make the hour trip, but we'll see. It'll be really cool to see some people.
Would you go Friday and Saturday, or just Saturday?
I would probably just go Saturday. 2 days is 1 day is pushing. 2 days is like impossible.
Hey, I think I'm 15 minutes away, and I think I'm not sure if I want to go Friday or not. But
oh my goodness!
I'll probably end up going
you could
down.
Just wander there at that point.
Yeah, I really should. I guess I'll work on the race car sometime this week, because I really gotta get rolling. I guess the first race for me is going to be in the Slingshot, back making a road course appearance. So
you gotta defend your title, man.
Fair warning to everybody else. I will be coming more than likely just for the road course again. So you guys better bring your A game. That's a challenge. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go for the three-peat on me for dirt road courses back to back. Defend my title at the Roval. Man, it was so much fun. I love it. I wish we did them more.
That would be great. I feel like that should be a thing, though, right?
I'd be the only one running them.
I mean, you just gotta tell them, like, listen, guys, I'm the best, and there's no way around it. So I'm the one you have to beat.
The biggest thing that I would love to see is there's two things. Mm-hmm. I think this year Brett Bieber shows up with a second car. Hot take.
Really? You think he brings
two cars.
Like his own car, or do you think that like somebody else's?
I don't know, because I know he has. I don't know. I forget.
He
what
can just borrow his brother's. His brother's car was looking pretty spiffy at the motorsports show.
I know he races for some people, and he just has so many different cars, and I don't see why. Because I think last year that Sunday he blew an engine or broke something, because I was over there trying to help him before the feature, and they managed. I think they did a full engine swap and 45 minutes, an hour maybe. It was pretty impressive. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Brett pull out a second car, so he has one ready for the road course and one ready for the other 3 races at the oval.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really praying that Randy comes out of retirement, puts on that
Yes,
Boris Said wig.
sir.
He has
That-
a afro wig that he wore at one of the other road courses to look like Boris Said, and I'm hoping he comes out and gives me a run for my money.
Like wearing it
And
under the
I get to
helmet, or
battle.
just like putting on
I
after
don't.
the helmet.
Knowing Randy, I wouldn't doubt it. But man, I hope. I think that was up at Pocono. He did that.
It
I
would be
think he
so
won.
cool to like have like a mini series where like you race on a dirt oval, you race on a road course, like an asphalt road course, an asphalt oval, and then a dirt road course. You know what I mean?
It would be.
Like a 4 or 5, like kind of like a NASCAR type circuit where you have like a big track, a small track, like all different sized dirt tracks, and then you have dirt roval, and then asphalt roval, and maybe like one asphalt like race.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, almost like a speed week sort of thing, but like call it master of all disciplines or something like that. You know?
Yeah, it's
I
like
think that'd be
it
really
would
cool.
be
I'd
yeah,
run it.
like it wouldn't be a speed week thing where it'd be like one after the other, because that's just it's so hard to even like go weekly anymore. Like it would
No,
have
I
to
want
be
to
like
see everybody change their cars over back and forth. I want to see. I want to see you go from a big track to a small track to a pavement track to a road course, all in the
One
span
week.
of 3 days.
the
3 days.
ultimate driver.
Yeah, I don't even know what you would run for a pavement track.
You could just
could
go to-
you
you
could
just
go
go
to
to-
Mahoning, but
Mahoning, or you could just go to where you run. It's
where
called-
I run, Wall.
You go to Wall.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know how many people you'd get going down from that area from
Me either.
PA down all the way to the Jersey Shore. Wall's basically at Point Pleasant and Brick.
So like you could like
Wall
it's too
Wall
far
would be
off, but
hard, man.
you could be. I was gonna say you could probably like try to incorporate the indoor races, but like that's like
Yeah.
too far off of like normal schedule type stuff.
I wanna, excuse me. I wanna go back to Bethel.
That'd be cool.
We ran one race up there in the slingshot, and I had so much fun. There were not that many people that showed up. They ran the juniors and all stars together just so that we had one race, and I managed to pick up the win up there for our first time. And that track was it was so much fun. I wish we went there in the TQ. The track was kind of rough, and going down the straightaway, you'd feel the car moving around under you with the bumps and everything. And in the corner, you could get the car upset if you didn't hit the line right. And it to me, it was just perfect. It was a little bit of a handful to drive, and you know, it was the first time on pavement where I had to differ from one of my other pavement setups really bad in a slingshot, and we really threw the kitchen sink at it, and it paid off. It was really fast.
Nice. Only other thing is the Daytona 500 was tonight. Did you watch any of that?
Man, I got a bone to pick with Fox and the Fox apps.
Oh my
that might
gosh, it's like I want to watch your show, and they're like, you have to have
Is it-
Fox 56, and it's like I
Well,
don't
does
have
your-
that, bro.
So I don't have live TV at my house.
Neither do I. I use my apps.
I use the apps as well. I use my parents' TV sign in from their TV
Me
network.
too. I do the same
And-
stuff.
I should have kept track, but I was losing it throughout the entire race because every 2 minutes the app would crash.
Oh,
I
I never-
uninstalled the app on my TV.
I never had. Oh,
reinstalled the
you got to
app.
go from your phone to cast it to the TV.
That's what I should have been doing.
That's
but
what you should always do. Don't
Man.
trust these dang TVs.
I
The reason I couldn't watch it is for some reason the cable package they have didn't have like the local Fox station or something for some reason. Even though if I went up to their house, I could watch it on their TV. So I couldn't watch it on the Fox app. So like I'm like listening to like someone streaming it on YouTube with the like a big square in the middle, so you can't see anything. You see the running order and them talking.
God. No,
So-
I was losing it because there was an absurd amount of commercials that ran, and what was happening to me was I would watch a lap, the app would crash. I would go back to the home screen on my TV, reload the app, reload the stream, get everything up and running.
Yeah.
I would, not joking, get to watch half of a lap, and they would cut to commercial. That happened to me 6 or 7
Oh
times
my
where I watched
gosh.
I was watching one lap, missing 5 laps, watching one lap, and and then watching all the commercials. Never crashed during the commercials. Only crashed during the racing, and
That's right.
I'm fired up, Ron.
Watch them ads, baby. Pay those bills. Pay the bills.
It was every Super Bowl ad just getting rerun over again, and I was losing my mind.
It's like
in
the
last 4 laps, the app crashed 5 times for me with the green, white, checkered restart and everything like that. Yeah. It crashed 4 times. I was losing it.
Well, it's like the Super Bowl was on Fox, and they had all those cool commercials. So like, you know what? Next week, we'll just do them again.
That's what they always do.
And they'll charge them like $6 million to do it again. Congrats to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on getting that W, man. At least Logano didn't win it again. Jesus, man. I would not be very happy if Logano won again.
Logano is a good pick at any of those plate races. He's always
I know he is, but I don't like him. All right. He just runs into people, and it's not nice.
Sad to see him get torn up early on.
It's unfortunate that Kyle Busch was doing so well and then got taken out because, what was it? Kyle Larson got shoveled in the middle and then he hit the wall freaking hard.
Yeah, Larson
hard.
And Brad did, yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh! Oh, Travis Pastrana finishing 11th. Let's go. Cool. Let's go. How did Jimmy Johnson do? Did he get crashed out?
Jimmy's car was torn up.
Oh, 31st. Who else? Oh, Daniel Suarez brings the caution out with 3 to go, or 2 to go almost, and then ends up getting 7th. Sure.
I'm checking my sportsbook bets, and
nothing.
I won. No, I actually won a bunch of money.
Nice.
I played groups, and with my group picks, Logano, Blaney won, Wallace won, and my only group that didn't hit was I had Bowman in whatever group he was in, and Christopher Bell took that group, so I got paid for like $14 on 3 of those bets.
Let's
go.
I'll
take it. And then I think one of my top 5s hit?
Maybe.
Logano paid $7 in the top 5 on a $2 bet, so I'll take it.
Nice.
Everyone else that I had, I don't think finished.
Yeah. Well, Stenhouse is always a threat at these big tracks, and congrats to him for getting this big win, because I think it's been a while since he won a race. Oh, wait, did he win last year? Maybe he did. But congrats to him for getting that win. That's awesome. I met him at Pocono. Super nice dude.
Yeah.
Super nice dude. So if you want to go ahead and intro our guest here.
Roll the intro. So this week, another one of somebody that I'd consider a good friend and one of my best sponsors with his clothing and apparel company, High Side Apparel. Speedster driver, I believe, moving on to modifieds this year. We have TJ Mayberry with us.
Hey, thanks guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
You got a great radio voice. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
That's funny.
You should start your own podcast.
TJ, I'd like to wish you a happy belated birthday and apologize for the Eagles losing on your birthday.
Actually, my birthday is actually this Friday. We just kind of
did like this Friday.
So we happy like almost birthday.
Party.
Happy almost birthday then. Sorry the Eagles couldn't get you a good birthday present.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I'm a huge Eagles fan, unfortunately, but yeah, it was close.
That stinks. I'm neither, but I was rooting for the Chiefs just because Patrick Mahomes.
Me too. He's gonna unsponsor me after this podcast.
But I will say Jalen Hurts played a hell of a game, and it sucks that he did not get the win because he kind of deserved it. I don't know about the defense falling apart at the end, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's a shame he played so well, and then like you said, the defense just couldn't get one stop. But I really don't like. I shouldn't say I don't dislike the Chiefs. I mean, I do like the Chiefs. So
yeah,
actually, my dad's a part Chiefs fan too, so he was kind of rubbing it in my face a little bit. So
friend of the show, Brett Bieber, is a big Chiefs fan, so he was very excited for the win.
Yeah, I think he mentioned something at the Speedway or the Action Track banquet about the Chiefs. He got a lot of booze for that. So.
I bet. It's like racing. When you're doing really well, you get more booze.
Exactly. You know?
Yep. That's funny. But hey, why don't we? I don't know a ton about your early on career with racing. I know your dad raced as well with you in the Speedsters, but tell us how your family got into racing and how you ended up racing the cars you did.
Yeah. So my dad, I mean, he's raced since he was 16. I won't say how old he is now, just because he probably won't want me to tell anybody. But let's just say it's been about 30, 40 years that he ran. Actually, probably more than that. But yeah, I actually started. You guys were talking about the road course thing and everything with like the Roval. I started at Orville in a go kart. Actually, I ran a handful of races there. I think I was probably like 8 years old at that time. Actually, I didn't like it, and we got out of it probably, I'd say, like a month into it. And then from there, I didn't race probably till I was 13, 14, and that's when I started in the slingshots. Ran those for 2 years and just kind of got my feet wet and just kind of learned the car. I mean, they're obviously a lot of guys starting those, and it's a great stepping stone to kind of get your feet wet and just kind of learn how to drive a car. But yeah, ran those for 2 years, was successful. We ran Borgers when it was dirt, and that was a lot of fun. And then we ran Linda's the second year. But yeah, from there, I Ralph Rarick has been my car owner pretty much my whole career. So he had Legends cars at the time, and he had a huge team with Legends cars. We had about, I think, 6 cars and a couple spares too. So went and ran Legends cars for 2 years, and talk about a difference from slingshots to Legends cars. It's like night and day.
Yeah.
I know Legends have changed so much since I ran them. Back when I ran them, they actually had like street tires that you raced on them. And that was like when the track got slick, that was like racing ice. So yeah, that they were a lot of fun though. I mean, we got to run a lot of different tracks with them. We ran Lincoln, we ran Baps, Grandview. They ran Linda's. They were all over the place. They were a lot of fun. So I mean, just with those two, just kind of getting my feet wet in something totally different. I learned a lot in those. Ran those for 2 years, and then we got a late model. Ran a dirt late model at Grandview for 2 years and did okay in the late model. Grandview is my home track. It's about 25, 30 minutes from my house, and that's where my dad raced pretty much his whole career. So I always tell everybody that's like my second home. I was there since I was a kid. And that was cool. That was like a lifelong dream of mine to run Grandview. So that was really cool to run that for 2 years. Tore a lot of stuff up there, and at the end of the second year, I know, surprise, Grandview, right?
Boilerplates, man.
Yeah. At the end of the second year, we kind of stopped and just kind of evaluated what we did those past 2 years, and we just kind of came to an agreement that we weren't going to do it again the following year. And at that point, we really didn't have any other direction to go into. So I didn't race for about 5 years, which was really weird. I mean, I to be around it my whole life and then to just stop for 5 straight years was like, it was crazy. It was really weird. And then actually, Ralph reached out to my dad about the Speedsters. This was back in like 2015, 2016. He had kind of approached my dad about what we thought about him, and he asked my dad to run, and then eventually bought another one, and then he asked me if I wanted to run, and basically it was a family team again. So
Nice.
yeah, they're and again, you jumping into those, that was like a handful too, a big learning experience with them as well. But yeah, I've been running those ever since. I think this will be my 8th season already with the Speedster. And then yeah, this past this winter we went and we bought a 602 Sportsman as well. So we're gonna run that as well.
Nice. And I didn't know who you were, but I can like picture in my head Paul Angstadt, or is it Paul Angstadt? Whoever the announcer is for Barry Angstadt saying your name like when the speeches are going on. That just like stuck with me. I was like, who's this dude? He's flying, man. And those things are crazy looking, man.
Yeah, they are. I mean, when I first got in one, I never ran anything open wheel. I never ran a 600 or anything like that. So I had to get used to that. But it's hard to describe the way they drive.
They look a little odd, and they don't look fast on film. Like when I'm watching the stream, the 600s look faster.
Yeah, they do kind of look awkward when you're racing. They just don't look smooth, and that's kind of how they drive too. It almost seems, well, I haven't ran a modified enough to know yet, but it seems like the modified guys seem to do well in them. So I'm curious to see how that is the same in a speedster as compared to like a modified. But yeah, it's almost like a real fine line to be on the edge with those. You got to be on the edge of spinning out to be fast in them. But yeah, there's times where it's like you go into the turn and just wants to go straight or just wants to spin right out. And it took us a while to find a good setup that we liked every week.
And you got the race against like Pouch and Pouch Junior, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. Yeah, they've have. I mean, over the years, like some great names in them. I mean, I know Brian Clausen ran them for a little while there. I never got to race against him, but yeah, both Pouches. Rick Eckert ran, I think, 2 years ago, and then you get like sprint car guys in there too. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I mean, you got guys from modifieds, late model sprint cars, all kinds of guys that run them. So it does have a lot of good drivers in it too.
Yeah, watching them go around the track, you look at them and think they're going to run like a sprint car and lay over on the left rear on the left side real hard and drive off of that. But then you watch them go around, and you're like, oh, these are laying over like a modified all on the right side, just trying to get grip. It's I worked a season with Jared Silphy on his car, and I know we were really struggling to get the setup for a couple nights and everything. We found it out. Found it a little bit when we were at Bridgeport, and we found it one night at Action Track. But yeah, it was a weird car to work on, weird car to set up.
Seems that way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like when you can go there 1 week, and it also depends. Like in the middle of the summer, a lot of times we're getting to our feature before the sun's even down. So you're like track conditions week to week are like so different. So you think you have it 1 week, and then you come back the next week, and you're way off. So it's challenging. But last couple of seasons, I think we finally started to hit on something there. I just have to get the bad luck out of my system, and hopefully that'll be this season.
Sounds like Kyle most of the time.
Yeah. Was it last year, TJ? You ended up having a big wreck in the speedster. Or was that the year before? Was that your dad?
We both had our fair share. You're probably thinking of my dad's this year. He got pinched on the backstretch wall, and he really went. That was probably one of the worst ones I've seen in the speedster, especially at Kutztown. The whole front basically clip that you can buy separate from the car was basically bent over on the hood. But yeah, luckily we got that thing apart and back together, and I think we had to run Granby that weekend too. But yeah, I actually this past June I actually fractured a vertebrae in my back at Action Track too. And actually, that wasn't even like a real bad accident either. It just kind of the way the car bounced, and when it landed, it just kind of shot up my spine, and it just knocked the wind out of me at first. And I thought it just kind of like jarred my back a little bit. But after I couldn't stand up straight for the rest of the night, I was like, I should probably go get this checked out. So that was about 6 weeks I was out. But that was probably the worst wreck I've had in a speedster.
Now, if they could possibly do any more for safety in those things. I know it's like a sprint car and it's like, enter at your own risk type thing, but like you're saying your dad flipped pretty bad. I don't know if he was hurt. You did like a tumble and hurt your back, and then we have, like we were talking about before, Jared Silphy. Shout out to him for winning that one race that he did win against Pouch and Buckwaller on his heels. That was kind of cool. But fast forwarding, he flipped. I think he did like an endo. He rolled over somebody's back tire, and I ended up getting a concussion, and I don't think he has really raced since. You know what I mean? And
I think he was running up front and started losing brakes, and on a restart got tangled up and ended up pounding the wall pretty hard in turn one. And kind of just rolled over. It wasn't a crazy wreck, but they did find like paint on his helmet, like his head hit the walls at some point somehow. But I don't think he raced the speedster again after that. That was the following season that I had worked on it, so I wasn't working on it at that point. He's done a couple slingshot races and did a couple like demolition derby races, but that's really it. He hasn't run the speedster since.
I wonder if maybe putting a halo bar in like Halen makes the 600s do. Maybe that could help. Maybe with that specific scenario, but I'm wondering, is it just the nature of the beast being that, like, if you flip over, you're most likely going to get hurt?
Well, I honestly we run halos in ours. We I think you can get them from Speedway Entertainment that way now. I know it wasn't always we didn't run them all the time, but we thought it'd be a smart thing to do, obviously, to put those in there. For me, actually, what got me was I didn't have a crash pad or anything in my seat, which, looking back at it, I don't know why I ever didn't run one, because that probably could have prevented what happened with my back. But I mean, I think part of it is Kutztown it's a fast track, but it's not like Bridgeport fast, so guys aren't afraid to make moves, and it doesn't always stick. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're pulling. It's almost like the midgets. I mean, you got to run them hard, and you got to slide people to make moves, and we all know that it's just part of racing, and it doesn't always stick. I mean, luckily, like with my dad's slip, I think he banged up his knee a little bit, but he didn't get any like serious injuries or anything like that. The other thing with the speedsters is it's really tight inside the cockpit too. Like I know my knees, like my left side, the fuel pump is like right above your knee, and if you flipped hard enough, you could easily hit your knee off that. So we put like padding on there and everything, but I think that probably has something to do with it too. But I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot more that they could really do to make them any safer. I just think it's kind of the nature of that track.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I heard Pouch Senior say he talked to somebody about safety before, and they said padding's cheap, bones aren't. So it's kind of just pad everything you possibly can that you might hit yourself on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you just got to think of every scenario. So
yeah, I run a crash pad personally, and if I don't have the crash pad in the car, I have extra sheets that I pulled out of the crash pad that, even at a 1/4 inch thick, just a small impact, that little bit of extra padding that the crash pad gives you from 802 Solutions is amazing. Like one of the big things for me was in the slingshot, they like to stack up on the starts and bang around a lot, and that used to kind of jar you a little bit and hurt your back. And just having the crash pad for the little hits like that does so much for you. Anybody that I see not running a crash pad, I tell them to get it and get it in there. Just like if you don't want that what if, like Aiden Donaldson over the summer flipping in the micro, didn't have a crash pad in there, fractures 5 vertebrae, and I was over his shop yesterday, and they have the crash pad in the new car and everything.
Crazy.
Yeah, I definitely, like you said, it's worth getting that if you don't have it.
So what are your plans going to be with the 602? Are you just going to run Grandview, or you plan on running other tracks as well?
So Grandview is going to be our main focus. Obviously, again, it's so close to us. I mean, it'd be dumb for us not to run Grandview. But that's going to be our main focus. Bloomsburg is going to be running 602s weekly with the Speedsters this season too.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to get to some of those shows. I don't know how many we're going to get to, just with it being on a Thursday. It makes it tough to get out there. But yeah, we're probably going to run a handful of shows out there, probably run double duty, do the Speedster and the 602. I mean, I'd like to get to as many shows as I can. I mean, it depends the finances, what we can do. I'd like to try Bridgeport if they have some special shows. I got to run a guy's car at the end of this past season at Bridgeport, and that was a lot of fun. So I think I'd like to try to get back there again. But another track I'd really like to run is the big end of the year race at Port Royal with the Short Track Super Series. I think we're going to make that a bucket list to get out there too.
Yeah, that Port Royal race would definitely be cool. And one of my bucket lists is to run a modified at Bridgeport as well. Ever since they redid that track, I've gone out there a few times for the races, or when we had the Speedster out there, and that just looked so cool to run the modifieds out there with them banging off the wall, watch them fold in the panels and shoot sparks all over.
You need some motor for that place, man. Woo!
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, when we ran the Speedsters there, I was like, are we really going to run this track? Because it's huge for a Speedster, and to be fast there, you got to be right up against the wall. So yeah, that place is a lot of fun. But I unfortunately, when I ran for that guy, we broke the motor in the second practice session, so I didn't even get to run the full night. But but yeah, it looks like it'd be a ton of fun in a modified.
So what are your expectations running the crate? I guess since you have never run I mean, I would consider a late model for full size car, just because of how it probably reacts similarly to a modified type. But like, what are your expectations, and what do you think of the division itself? Because I hear lots of goods, lots of bads. I personally don't like the crate motor itself for specific reasons, but I don't know. I'd like to hear your take on it.
So as far as expectations go, I'm like probably my biggest critic. So for me, I want to win. I mean that's the whole reason you're racing is to win. So obviously to start, I mean just try to get the feel of everything and just run consistently. I don't know as far as points go. I never been a big points racer, I guess you would say. I mean I kind of just take it week by week. It depends too. I mean, it's a family owned thing. So if we're gonna miss a race, we're gonna miss a race. You know what I mean? If we
Sure.
can't get a part or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, my expectations. I mean, obviously, I want to win. I just be competitive everywhere we go. Try not to bend up too many parts, but obviously that's everybody's goal too. As far as why we picked a 602, to me it's affordable. I mean, when you're looking at the divisions nowadays, I mean, I think Speedster is a great option too because you're racing for a lot of good money. The 602s, I mean, as far as like maintenance goes, you don't have to put a ton of money into them.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to have a pretty even playing field as well. So I think that was a big attraction to them. The other thing is you can kind of pick and choose where you want to run. I mean, they have so many different tracks you can go to.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, if we get sick of Grandview, we can go to Bridgeport.
You just got to take the sail panels off.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
those little things, but you said you're not a big fan of the 602 motor. I honestly haven't had a chance to really work with them much, so I can't say a whole lot about them yet.
Yeah.
One thing go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The only thing I have a problem with is that there's too many engine builders that can work on them now, and it's gotten to the point where like if you buy one from GM, you will never ever win a race with it. If you just buy it from GM, put it in your car, there's no shot. Like even it doesn't matter because like you're able to get so much more horsepower out of them when you do certain things to them, and it can still considered to be a crate motor. So like I just don't like the class because it's not. I don't think it's governed correctly overall.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you got guys that are pushing 400 horse, and there's guys like if you get one from GM, it's like 350 horse. Like if you got 20 to 40 more horsepower out of a motor, you're obviously going to be much better.
Right. And I've been learning that too. It sounds like you gotta get one from a builder, either Donath or we bought a used one from a guy, but apparently it came from La France, which I've heard is a good builder too. So
yeah, well, they get adult dial in and stuff, I'm sure.
Right. But yeah, I mean that's part of the problem with the whole sport is whoever has the biggest pocketbook in a lot of divisions is the ones that run up front. I hope it doesn't come to that, but
it's almost worth it. Like the money you would spend on it. So say you were going to buy a motor from an engine builder, it's almost worth it to just buy a 358 and go modified racing, because of how much they're charging for some of these crate motors. You know what I mean? So it's like because it's the same exact car. There's no difference in the car, right? You're just going up in a weight. You getting a little bit more weight and then a bigger motor, like a couple hundred horsepower.
Basically, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of guys that swap out the 602 and they just put a small block in it and then they go run with the modified. So, yeah. I mean, there's that aspect of it too. I mean, we're just out there to have fun. Like I said, the hard part with Grandview too is they're still considered like the open sportsmen. So you're going to have guys that have the open motors, 604s and the 602s.
Yeah.
So I guess they're going to make a decision about that. I think they said at probably like the midway point this season, they're going to decide whether they're going to keep it that way or go strictly to the 602.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I've talked to some guys that have run the 602 there against the open motors, and obviously when the track's heavier, you're going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. But when it comes feature time, a lot of times the track's pretty slicked off and everybody's kind of pretty even.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen like Brian Calabrese. He was I think he went to Super Dirt Week and he qualified for the big block race in a crate, and he was doing pretty good because the track just was complete glass. You know what I mean? It's all black.
Right.
It's been run on forever, and he was just scooting around the bottom, just like all the power was to the wheels. It was really cool to see. But like, I mean, personally, the 602 is a cool class, and it's run a lot of places. So it's like if you buy a crate car, you can go to, like you said, all these different tracks. If you just have an open, like the way I would do it is a bit old school. Everyone has the same like small block motor. If you want to run sportsman, you put a 2-barrel on it. If you want to run modified, put a 4-barrel on it. You know what I mean? The 2-barrel will restrict it enough that everyone is kind of in the same ballpark. And if you have the same motor, you can you don't even have to swap the motors. You just change the carburetor. But again, that puts a restriction on where you can travel and go. So you can't go to the short track Super Series races. You can't go to all these different tracks and kind of stretch your legs and see what you got.
Yeah, I mean, I think for everybody too, it's kind of like what are you looking to do? I mean, if you really want to run with the small block guys, and then go do that. I mean, a lot of guys I've seen too, they'll run the small block and then they'll break something, and then it's like they're kind of stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't know what to do from there. They want to keep racing with the small blocks, but they can't afford to replace them or get them fixed.
Yep.
And I don't want that to happen either. I mean, no. I think with the 602s, if we get into a bind, we'll have to figure it out. But I think it'd be easier to kind of replace a 602 than it would be to do a 358. So
yep, I think that's the big distinction with, like, exactly like you said. If you're not if you don't know what you're doing with the engine, you can't replace it cheaper than getting another small block or something like that.
Yeah, and it's like if you want to be competitive in the small block, it's like you got to put the money out to be competitive too. So
true story.
Yeah,
it ain't cheap, no matter which way you swing it, man.
No, none of racing is cheap. So
I can't afford racing, so I just bring a video camera.
Hey, and that's awesome.
Now, like as I mentioned earlier, you created High Side Apparel and run that clothing company. Tell us a little bit about your decision to get into doing that.
Yeah, so High Side started a few years ago. I've always had like a creative side to me, and it felt like dirt track racing never really had like a clothing line dedicated like just to dirt track racing. I mean, you have like probably the closest thing would be like Swindell Speed Lab. I kind of always tell everybody like that's kind of what I'm trying to go for. I get a lot of people confused thinking that I print apparel for like race teams, like I design it and print it for their team, but I don't do that. I just kind of want to have a clothing line that just is for the true race fan or racer that just loves dirt track racing. And a few years ago, I came up with the idea. I was like, you know what, why don't I just start designing it and making it myself? I don't have a ton of like drawing ability, but I can work my way around a computer and design software. I basically taught myself everything. So I started it one day, and we started with some terrible designs in the beginning, but you got to start somewhere.
That's how it starts with everything.
Exactly. And they're just trying to get the name out there too. I mean, once people are kind of associated with who I am and like what I do, it seems to help it grow. But yeah, I just do it for fun. I mean, if I make money at it, great. If I don't, it's just kind of something that I like to do. I like to set up at tracks too. I think that's fun. I mean, this season I probably won't be able to get out as much as I used to, just with racing on the weekends and then racing during the week too. So I'm gonna have a full plate. But yeah, I mean, if you guys, I mean, check out our website, highsideapparel.shop. Always coming out with new stuff. I got a lot of stuff from last year, but we're definitely going to be coming out with some new things this season too.
Nice. And I was going to ask if it was like your full-time gig or something like that was like what you're doing, but I mean, you could still probably set up shop at the trailer, right? Like when you're actually racing.
I could. I mean, we have a lot of stuff, so it's hard to bring everything with.
No, don't bring everything. Just bring, just do like a lot of people they'll do drops now, right? So they'll be like, here's this sweatshirt and like maybe some other stuff, like specific designs that are only available for so long, right? You could do it like a drop where it's just like, boom, this is all we got, and when it's gone, it's gone.
Right. Yeah, I could do that. We at the very beginning when we were running Action Track, my fiance actually was set up behind the grandstand. We would set up every week and sell it that way.
Nice.
It's just hard when realistically it's just me. Like my my parents help and my fiance helps when she can, but she doesn't go to every race. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm obviously focused on the car and racing that night. So I can't have the time to get
do
that figured out too.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
hey,
I like it's like I said, we used to try to get out to, we used to go to Port Royal a lot. They loved us out there. We would go on a Saturday night. We would do really good out there. But yeah, if I could get it set up every week, that'd be pretty sweet.
yeah, that would. And hey, I mean, high side, rip the lip. I mean, we're both, running the top, so we can probably get some collaboration going here.
That's what sells the shirts, right? You got to be on the top.
Exactly. Maybe we could work together and get some. Because I've been looking. I've had a bunch of people ask me for like hats and shirts and stuff. So maybe we can make something happen.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a plan. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, and TJ's already got the hashtag rip the lip on a lot of stuff. On my
Oh,
helmet,
is that where Nate Freed had hashtag rip the lip on his visor?
Yeah.
Is that where it's from?
Yeah, I have it as well. I run that visor strip. I buy them and I cut them down and run them on the lower portion of my shield. Just because I like having the viewport narrowed up. But last couple seasons, I've been repping the rip the lip on the lower portion of my visor and have it on my suit and all my cars and everything for high side. I came to TJ pretty early on, I think, with you starting the company and asked to partner up with you and try to get the brand out there because I really liked everything that you were doing.
Yeah, you reached out early. Yeah, I think you were like the first year or so that we were doing it. But the rip the lip seems to be the most popular thing that I sell. Those visor strips, they go quick. And then I had the rip the lip shirt. They sold quick too. But yeah, as far as we get a lot of people that want to be a sponsored driver too. It's hard to sponsor everybody. Like I would love to sponsor everybody. I don't do any kind of like paid sponsorships or anything like that. I just can't afford to do that. Like I said, I'm not making millions of dollars doing this. So
you and me both, brother.
We just do it for fun. So that's what we do.
Agreed. Same, pretty much same here. I mean, on this show we do have paid sponsors, which is super amazing. But no, it's weird. This season I've had a bunch of people, mainly Slingshot and smaller cars, ask if I want to sponsor their car, and it's like, man, I would love to give you a whole bunch of money, but I can't. I got no money, and I got 3 kids, and so I'm kind of stuck. But I was like, I'll do like promo videos. I'll do some video stuff for you. Like, I'll be on, sorry, what is it? I can't remember her name. Beeler's car, not Morgan's. Morgan. I don't know why her name blanked for a second. I was like, what the heck is her name? Yeah, I'll be on Morgan and her brother's car this year. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do some videos and stuff for them, and I've had a bunch of people reach out just being like, hey, can we put your logo on the car? I'm like, you don't even have to ask, just do it. If you want to, just do it. And I've even had the guy that I can't remember his name. He does graphics for like Dylan Hahn and stuff, and he's actually reached out to me and it's like, can you just send me your logo, because I've had a bunch of my customers ask for it. I'm like,
yeah,
well, I mean, that's fine. I'm about to make a post, just be like, here's the file, if you guys want it, just take it. Like, I don't care.
Right.
You don't have to ask me for the free advertising, guys.
I get the same thing a lot with people reaching out to get Hervé Motorsports on the car.
Yes, sir. Let's go. But yeah, we the Rip the Lip is already intertwined into your business, buddy. So like we can make something happen here.
Yeah, we could do like a collab, like you said, do like a drop with Rip the Lip and High Side.
That would be sick. We'd have to figure out a really good race to do it, where there's like lots of hype around it. You know what I mean? Maybe like the Freedom 76er or something.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be
because there's
cool.
a ton of people there for that, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like the big deal race show.
There is. The hard part is too, like I reached out to a bunch of different tracks trying to I don't like just showing up. I always like to like reach out and say, hey, look, here's what we're doing. Are we allowed to come set up? And unfortunately, Grandview has told me no already to doing that. So some tracks are against it.
They don't let you sell shirts at all.
Well, I guess if you're a driver selling shirts, they would do it that way. So maybe this year I'd probably will be able to, just because I'm racing there. I don't know how it would work.
That's a strange restriction, being like, hey, you can't sell your apparel out of your trailer. Because I know a lot of like the big guys. I'm sure Strunk has stuff, and maybe Howard has some stuff.
I guess if you're selling it out of your trailer, they probably wouldn't have a problem with it. But like I was asking to like set up like a tent like inside like the grandstand somewhere,
like
that
like
sort of
next
thing.
next to like where their booths,
Right.
their stuff is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see them not liking that because they're like,
Right.
buy our stuff, not this guy's stuff.
Yeah.
The weird thing is I've seen drivers and everything set up stands behind the grandstands there by the snack shack on the front stretch and sell their shirts, but I guess it's along the same lines as they want. If it's drivers selling, that's one thing, but if it's a business selling, I guess they view that differently.
Yeah. I mean, if you're using their venue to make money for yourself, so I do get it. I do. But like you said, yeah, if you're selling a driver shirt, they don't have a problem with it. So
Yeah, maybe they just
we'll
want to
see.
cut. Maybe just give them, we'll be like, we'll give you a percent.
I've done that already too. I've actually during COVID, I think, when was it? Back when COVID was, nobody was really running. I think Roaring Knob. It was out in like western Pennsylvania, like on the border of like West Virginia. I reached out to them because they were the only track that was going to run, and they were at a 410 show, and they wanted like $100 for show money. So I was like, okay, like I'll do it. If I make my money back, great. If I don't, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And we went out there. We did awesome. Like I almost sold like everything.
Yeah,
I just think
it's worth it.
I just think everybody was there because there was nowhere else to go, and it was like one of the best decisions I made.
That's how it was at where was it? It was Pencan. Everywhere wasn't running, and Pencan, the owner's like, I think they told him like, if you try to run tonight, we're gonna fine you like $10,000 there, and he's like, I don't care, we're running. And I mean like the stands were packed, standing room only, like the pits were just like flooded with people. I even saw one state police guy walking around just like scoping it out, I guess. I mean it was packed. I think it was King of the Can weekend too, so it was just like, okay. I mean it was packed. This dude made
that's the way this place was too.
It just made so much money. I was like, good for you, man.
Yeah, it was probably worth the fine.
I agree, but yeah, we definitely got to figure out something. We'll be in contact. Maybe we'll do our shirt or something. Because I need someone to design shirts for me. Because I don't want just to rip the lip across the thing. I came from like BMX and skateboarding when I was younger. So like every week we were making a different company. Me and my friend.
Yeah.
We were just making shirts, and they'll be like, we should change the name. So we're making more shirts and stuff, which is all drawings and stuff. So that's where I like the stuff that's like, half the shirt diagonal is like one color, the other, the other side's another color, not anything normal.
Like my race
like
suit.
some flashy stuff.
my two sleeves are different colors on the race suit. Love
exactly. So it's unique.
My favorite high side shirt that you have is like that off-white long sleeve shirt. I wear that shirt like once a week. I don't know why, I just love that. But my closet is just filled to the brim. If you catch me at a racetrack, chances are I'm wearing high side, at least a hat, if not a shirt too, or a sweatshirt. I have so many different pieces of clothing that I bought from you guys. I love it.
Yeah, it's cool. Like when just like walking around tracks and you just like see my shirt, like walking around, it does feel really cool.
Yeah, and I know, excuse me, a couple of the kids that drove for me, I also bought stuff for them that was high side, so they would wear that to the track as well.
Yeah, no, you guys do great. I mean, you help represent really well, and so does Brett. I mean, Brett's another one that really reps high side.
The amount of times Brett and I have showed up and looked at each other and we're wearing the same shirt from you is it's been a few times. It's always a running joke between us where we gotta like text each other to make sure we're not
what are you wearing
shirt
tonight?
Yeah, we've definitely showed up at that someplace like Lehigh Valley Grand Prix wearing the same shirt more than once.
That's cool. Like I said, I really appreciate the exposure.
Ron's trying to pull.
I'm doing my best with the technology here. But I'm gonna check out the shop because I'm curious what you got. You got hats and stuff.
Yeah,
I got all kinds of stuff.
Hats, stickers, sweatshirts, and you're the model too. They don't pay you extra for that, right?
No. I try to get some of my friends to do it, but nobody ever wants to do it. So I'm like, people are tired of seeing me, but we got to get me on there somehow.
Oh, you gotta call me up, man. I mean, I got enough photos of me from indoor. I'm wearing high side hats. I'm wearing a high side hat in the profile picture on the stream right now.
Yeah, man.
We got some good headshots.
The
this past
legends
year.
are made on the high side. Love it.
Yep.
Live fat.
It's funny. I tell people like every time people order from me, I'm like, just send me photos of you wearing it. Like it sounds weird, but like I need like stuff to put on like social media. I need that stuff.
Yeah, we could, I mean, you just start making TikToks, literally.
Yeah, yeah, right. Just wearing it.
Just like wear the shirts and like do funny TikToks, and then just link the shop to in your bio and just like mention it often.
I should do that. It's just like, do I really have time to like do that on the side with TikTok? If it's like,
Just,
Yeah, right.
it like you just find a trend or a song or something and just like do whatever the trend is.
We want to see TJ Mayberry in high side apparel.
No,
doing
no
TikTok
dancing.
dances.
You don't have
No,
to dance.
no.
Just find a
we
trend,
need-
do the video, and just put like a trending song in it. You don't have to. You can
Just
even turn the
give-
song down, and then you just link the bio and just be like, buy our stuff.
Just give me and Brett the TikTok login. We'll take care of the
Let's
rest.
go.
there you go. That'll work.
And I like on your website having the high side drivers. Anybody who's representing you, give us a little bit of a shout out as well on your page. I really appreciate that.
Chase Johnson, Tyler Brem, Brett
Yeah, I mean,
Gilmore, who we had on last week.
Yeah,
Brett?
yeah. I mean, I try to do my best for the guys I do sponsor. I mean, like in return, like you guys get like discounts, and then I try to give you as much exposure on like our socials as we can too.
Oh, Ben Whitaker, that dude is a wheelman.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
This guy didn't even. It's a fake picture. It looks like it's a computer generated.
Nope. I did that. I didn't even see that you had that picture on there. The micro. That's the one I junked out pretty hard. I had a weird experience taking those photos. So that's out in front of my race shop, and I was doing light painting on the micro basically. So I'm by myself, and we're on the farm, and it was like raining slightly. And I don't know
Ooh.
what animal was sitting over in the bushes, but there was just a pair of red eyes staring at me for the hour that I was out there in the dark taking those photos. And it
Go
was
ahead,
very
take the picture. I dare you.
he was a fan. He was too shy to come up and get an autograph, I guess.
Cool. We got some in-car videos and stuff. This is a nice,
Who does your
easy to
website,
look.
TJ? Do you run that?
Yeah, I do everything myself.
Is it just it's like a basic Flash website or something, or it looks like
Yeah,
it's
I can't remember that. Wix.
okay.
Okay. Yep.
Very nice little about us page. Yeah, it's easy to get to. It's clear. Everything. It's not confusing at all. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, if you want a gift card, click on the gift card thing, put in your stuff. $200.
Yep.
Boom. Give that
Easy's
for a birthday
better.
present.
Yep.
It's easy, and it just works, man. And it's got the nice. I love the color scheme too. That looks nice.
Thank you.
Is that the color of this year's car, or will be, or are you going with that red car?
The red car is actually this year's car for the Speedster. The
Nice.
602 don't have the design yet, but I'm thinking some black and yellows, and I don't know. We'll see.
Very nice. Well, I'll definitely be trying to snag some of that, or maybe I'll just tell Kyle to get it for me.
There you go.
We can do that. We can do that.
We're already trying to figure out how you can make it to Grandview this year, me and him, because we've
Yeah.
talked to a handful of people that race at Grandview, like Adriana Del Ponte and Brett Gilmore, and I don't really know who else, but yeah, it's gonna be exciting. And Hamlin has 2 weeks off, so hopefully I can get out, because
Yeah, you
I
got.
just
you
want to
guys-
meet
guys
people,
have to
man.
come out.
That'd be
Yeah,
super
absolutely.
fun. I wonder if they'll let me fly my drone. Do you think they'd
I
care?
I think I've seen drones there before, so I don't think so. I don't think they'd care.
I'm just like ready to fly. I went to the motorsports show. I was ready to fly that thing inside. The ceilings were a little low, but I don't care. I was prepared.
Yeah. If it's off GPS, you lose the GPS inside of buildings and they go out of control.
No, I don't.
Sometimes.
You don't need GPS in this thing.
Yeah. I had somebody at LVGP, I think it was a news station, that tried to fly a drone inside and they crashed into a Christmas tree. Probably wasn't supposed to
This
say
one's a
that
little more
online,
high
but
tech, I think. Fingers crossed. I hope. I've been messing with it.
When you fly the drone like that, he had to keep a logbook of everything he did in case something happened, and he's writing down in the logbook, flying inside flew into fake Christmas tree. Like, okay,
Do
cool.
not recommend.
Hope the FAA calls you up on that one.
Agreed. But yeah, I think we're winding down here a little bit. It's been really awesome having you on, because it's just like, chatting with an old friend almost, and we just got to know, or I just met you, so that's like super cool, and just like great dude, great racer, businessman,
no,
you know, the whole nine. So I guess I'll just hand the floor off to you if you have anybody you want to shout out, social media. You know, floor is yours at the end here.
okay, cool. I mean, yeah, thanks again for having me. It's a lot of fun. This hour flew by. But
Yeah.
I think what you guys are doing is great. I mean, just talk with Kyle a little bit, just trying to get exposure for some of the younger guys coming up, and I mean, and
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. Um, as far as people that I want to thank, mom and dad first. They're always been a huge part of my racing career. Obviously with my dad, he just kind of helped me with everything. My mom just supporting me throughout the years too. My fiance Dana, she getting ready to get married in May, so she's got a lot for me to do, and I know with racing two cars this year, she was happy for me, but she knew
Yeah.
it was going to be a lot of work too. Um, so I thank her for her patience and supporting me too. Um, Ralph and Rini Rarick, they've like I said, he's been my car owner for pretty much my whole career. So I without them, I mean, I wouldn't even have a career in racing. So I got to thank them for everything that they do and all the cars that they've allowed me to run. So um, as far as sponsors go, this year we got a lot of new people on board with the 602. Lucky Dog Bar and Grill, they're in Souderton, PA. Figueroa Contracting, Mad Horse Tattoo, Blosky and Associates, Dave's Boat Repair, Alder for Glass. Those are going to be my main sponsors this season. Um, Social medias, I am on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I know we talked about High Side. I do have a Facebook and Instagram for High Side Apparel too. And then if you guys are interested, or if anybody's interested in purchasing some gear, you can go to highsideapparel.shop. Feel free to, if you have any questions about stuff too, reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram. I pretty much respond to everybody that I can. So, thanks again for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it flew by, like you said, and really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I agree. And getting married in racing season, you're a brave man.
Well, we've been engaged for 2 years now, so we were like, all right, we need to figure this out. But yeah, so I had to give up a little bit, but that's perfectly fine with me.
Oh, definitely. There's that got to be a give and take. Trust me. I'm only 5 years in, but I can definitely understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. And I know it's an hour doesn't seem like a long time, but it is quite a bit of time for the most part. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and just talk about your racing career and the plans for the future. And hopefully we can meet up with you this summer. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you guys are at Grandview or at the same track, we'll definitely have to stop and talk.
If you're gonna be at Kutztown, I'm gonna try to get down to Kutztown. I've never seen a 600 race there yet. The only time I've been there is for Slingshot Speed Week, and they race the Excel 600s. They didn't race the actual micro, so I really want to see a micro race there. It seems unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It is.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, we'll stay in touch and we'll get this apparel thing worked out. But also, thank you for anybody watching. Appreciate everybody comments, likes, shares, everything like that. Appreciate everybody watching. We'll be back next week with a junior slingshot driver, Griffin Hendershot. He has been kind of tearing it up the last season. Did really well at Hamlin. Did really well at Kutztown and the Speed Week. So excited to talk to him. Yeah, and I guess we'll see you guys next week at